that it is the law of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I would emphasize to our school districts that this piece of legislation was introduced by a Republican. It had bipartisan support. It's the senator from Henrico County that introduced it. And if they have any questions, talk to their delegates and senators who not only proposed this, but passed it. Not unanimously, but certainly with I think a bipartisan vote. I think in the Senate there were 3 no votes out of 40. I'm not sure the numbers in the House, but it's the law of the land, and we expect our school districts throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia to follow the law.
Are you ruling out a mandate for the general public once FDA approval is fully reached, full FDA approval? Some might see this as a step in that direction.
A mandate for
the general public
for vaccinations
in Virginia.
Jackie, the way I look at this, I'm in charge of 120,000 plus or minus a couple state employees, and that's who I have control over. I encourage businesses across the Commonwealth of Virginia to follow that lead, and we've already seen some of that, but I anticipate seeing more of it. So we'll lead by taking care of the employees that I have control or jurisdiction over, and then I expect others to follow that lead. I think it's important for all of us to realize our children sacrificed this past year, as did their families, and we know that the safest place for them to be is in the schools, assuming that they follow the guidelines, which we anticipate they will. So we're going to do everything that we can to have our children in-person learning this fall, and to make sure that we do that safely and responsibly. The kids do great with masks, and even 3- and 4-year-olds in the early childhood learning. So I think if we let the children know and the families know that we're doing this to keep their children safe, to keep families safe, I don't see that it would be a big issue. The other thing that I would say is and I appreciate you listening and hearing people complain, the great majority of the legislators that represent them in the Senate and the House passed this law that I just referred to, and I have it here if you'd like to see it, to say that our children would be in school and that they would follow the CDC guidelines. The CDC guidelines, which we've tried to follow all along, say that children in school K through 12 should have masks on. So if they have complaints, which I understand, there are individuals out there who have complaints, I would take that up with the legislators who not only proposed but also voted and passed this piece of legislation. And again, it was intended, Andre, to keep our children safe, and that is so important. As you know, we've seen the numbers of individuals, number of children that have contracted the virus going up, and we got to do everything that we can to keep them safe, and so that's why this was done.